Hi everyone, Yellowy Magiciano here, the internet's busiest LP nerd. Yeah, it's me again. It's been a long time since I did any sort of Let's Play. I think it's been about like 3-4 months now since I LP'd, what was it called? I think it was called Dragon Fantasy, but it's now been renamed after lots of constructive, positive criticism to Chronicles of Safanu. Bro, okay, that might have a problem that I can't actually pronounce it very well, but that might just be me. Anyway, I decided to once again start Let's Playing. No real reason really, I just thought, I had a lot of fun doing it before, might as well do it again. So I created a new topic in the RPGmaker.net forum. I will probably link to it in the description, so if anyone else has any requests, feel free to let me know. Anywho, we are starting a new game today. It is called Othello by the RPGmaker.net member Corey_Tombs. I have to admit, I don't know what to expect from this one, because when you look at the title, you expect like a Shakespearean homage, if you will, or even just kind of a remake. But the setting of this one seems to be a bit different. From what I could tell, it seems to be set in a small Japanese feudal village. The main character is a girl. I don't know if her name is Othello or not. I don't really remember, but I guess if there's anyone when you find out, that is to start playing the game. Got my nice cup of tea ready as well, so you're going to hear a few sipping noises. Would I like to watch a flashback scene? I have to say I'm not a fan of flashbacks, but, for the sake of completeness. I had this issue with one of the animated season, actually. I might talk about it in a bit. I have to say I do like the face sets. I don't know if they're original or not, but whatever the case, they're pretty good. I think the music is pretty on point as well, in terms of like Japanese feudal stuff. Why they just stood there? Hey, that's why. Nope. Okay. That's pretty interesting, because he basically saved her life, and she's all, yeah, screw you. It's not much at all, dude. She's pregnant, boy. Deep, man. Oh, that face set is epic. Look at that mustache. I actually used epic non-ironically. Oh, that's another epic one. Oh my god, these are absolutely amazing. Not gonna lie. Oh, another demand. Yeah, sure, why not? Why don't I just bend over backwards and carry you to wherever you need to go? That's handy. Okay, very literal there. how much does a sim cost in terms of like Japanese yen? How much? Whoa, okay. Okay, one thing I'm gonna have to say right off the bat, it's not a huge criticism or anything, but I noticed that a lot of these transitions are like very, very quick. So for example, when we went from killing the guards or whatever to the next scene when Azar and Gora, I think her name were in that room, that was very quick. And in addition, going from the present to the past, from the past to the present, there was basically no gap. So I think going forwards, that might need to be something that is kind of corrected. At least making a 3 or 4 second kind of blackout would just help ease the player into a bit of a transition. That just makes more sense to them, I think. Anyway, we have found Othello in the present. So I would just spat my tea out. Christ, man. What a dad. I should have had a son. It's blunt as shit. Okay. Interesting. Okay, this dad's a piece of shit. Typo. Your. I understand. What kind of stuff? I'm not 100% sure about the historical accuracy there. Honestly, I'm not an expert. Maybe it was like that in Japanese feudal times. Fuck you, useless bitch. Should have had a son. Oh, there's another great character right there. Is that supposed to say chewing tobacco, or just tobacco? I don't know. Just what the fuck are you asking, man? Okay, that's not a typo, that's a genuine mistake. So you're gonna want to look into the usage of your and YOU apostrophe, or whatever you call it in the US or wherever you're based. YOU apostrophe RE. Oh, a fetch quest. Shit, Dad making me do a fetch quest. Duh. Okay, we have control of the character. And we are greeted with a nice custom menu there. Let's see what the options are. So I got, don't have any items yet. That is another typo. Sorry, I get really anal about typos after, but that's just one of my things. Heal, life, technique. Increase attack to self 2 times. Good enough. Armor. Standard. Nothing much there. Difficulty. I think I'll keep that normal. I'm usually a normal type of guy. Don't really take massive challenges. Although, having said that, recently, starting Tales of Xillia 2, I've actually decided to play a moderate, which isn't that bad, for the most part. But it's a very easy game, that one, anyway. I already know that nice lamp shading there, I guess. Okay, I mean, this seems to be a fairly well-mapped city-town thing. Did you say city or town? I don't remember, but one or the other, right? And there's not a huge amount to it. It's basically kind of a fortress type thing. I thought it just went past you. And if he's a city guy, then what's it called, a village? Unless it's kind of like London, you know, when you have all these little towns or villages within a bigger city called Greater London. And never mind. This is Japan, this isn't London. Where people have authentic Japanese names like Bayon. feel you there, bro. Welcome to my life. um, well, I guess it's true. There's always been this historical preference from parents to have like mothers. I mean, to have sons as their firstborn instead of daughters, and I mean, it's even prevalent in my own culture actually. Back where I'm from, in the Indian subcontinent, there's still quite a preference in terms of, you know, at least having one son or at least one son to carry on like legacies and shit. And if they don't, then there's always some sort of kind of issue there. Unfortunately, even in my own extended family, I've seen this kind of thing as well. It's quite sad, to be honest. So I'm not doubting like the historical accuracy of that whole thing, and I can see why the father would have certain views that don't necessarily agree with modern times. Like that's pretty fair enough. No, I mean the prevailing sentiment so far, I guess, might have been portrayed a bit harshly, but I mean, again, I'm not one to judge. No. What? It's like unpaid internships and steroids, am I right? Yeah. God, these men are jerks. Right then, are you a parody of like Buckethead, the famous guitarist? Who's actually still around. Oh, I'm not level 25. Son of a bitch. So I'm trying to remember what I have to do at this point. I think I have to go and wow, never give up. She's very optimistic for someone who's been treated like shit all her life. Oh, yeah, there's some resentment there. Man, I miss those days. Oh, by the way, I wonder if I can look around and things like that. No, apparently not. It's also a plus when you have a game that kind of implements items in such a way that you can grab them from the most random locations and get something cool. Like, say I went to look in that closet in the top left and found an elixir or something, I'd have finished it, but it's not really a point, I mean, against the game. That's Pega with an A, actually. Right. I'm just about feeling the need to get away from this town, not village, city, I don't even know. Because there doesn't really seem to be a huge amount going on. Oh, it's my dad. Fuck you, Dad. Dad? I can't move, Dad. Dad? Dad. Thank you. Jesus Christ. Absolute shit, Dad. Like, if there was a Academy Award for worst fucking dad ever, that guy would be it. Oh, for fuck's sake. Yes, I get the picture. Women are treated like shit, but come on, man. So, I guess there isn't exactly an Othello fan club around here, am I right? I mean, yeah, I'm starting to feel that maybe this message is being driven way out of hand. I mean, I guess really, like, oh, that was a very nice find, by the way. I do appreciate that. I don't know if these actually do anything yet, but I guess I'm going to find out at some point. Oh yeah, and I could save anywhere, that's another plus point. Like, plus 5 points there, actually. Especially for an LPer like myself. Yeah, I was just saying something fairly important, wasn't I? I don't remember what it was now. Is the sun setting? Because it feels getting a bit darker now. Or maybe I'm just imagining that? Too late. Okay. I hope we will finally get to some battles, because I'm itching for a bit of good RPG gameplay. Unfortunately, I can't see any... Oh, a random encounter. That, unfortunately, is going to be a minus point. So, what do we have here? We have a side view battle system. We have a very pixelated looking spider there. We have something called special. I guess that involves the use of items to do certain things. That's very interesting. I'm just gonna go with a standard sword attack and see how it goes. Oh man, this spider is going all out. Hey! Not just for me, but for all women. Oh great, I found a bet on that. How many of these do I need? Just, I swear it was like 25. So am I gonna have to go through random encounters like 25 times? Nah, there's gotta be more to it than that. There's probably a boss battle or something that will, kind of allow me to get like 20 upon the defeat of the monster. At least that's kind of what I'm hoping. What is actually gonna happen is another thing altogether. Oh no, see? I mean right there we have like 3 different things. Good time to test my buffs. And let's see how much damage we do. I think against a spider we did about like 120 damage, so if we can do anything above that, that will be a plus, but really should be above a certain amount. I mean, it's kind of a judgment call, right? That is good, so that increased it by 50%. That's okay. I can do it. For how many turns was it? 2? I guess if you add it up overall, it does end up being like an increase of 50% of damage. Because you have to account for the turn that you spend actually using the skill. Having said that, I did just... that was 3. That was 3 turns, wasn't it? It wasn't 2. I'm gonna have to check that again. 6. Good. I was getting actually kind of worried there, but that's good. So it's not like a massively overblown fetch quest, it's just like introducing you to the battle system and how everything works. Although at the moment there doesn't really seem to be a huge amount of complexity. It seems that Invigorate is free as well. That's very interesting. So there's not like any MP cost. Whoa, I don't need to use it again. There's no MP cost or anything associated with it, which is quite interesting as well. Notice I did 160 damage there, I didn't actually do... Oh, a bit more. Gonna make it my life mission not to die at any point in this let's play. Otherwise I'll just be embarrassed. No one likes being embarrassed in Let's Plays. I think that happened to me quite a bit in the Dragon Fantasy one. Which is actually definitely worth checking out, by the way. I know, a bit of a shameless plug for someone else's game, but if I'm Dragon Fantasy, it's actually, it's pretty strong in terms of the battles, and I'd say the dialogue is actually fairly strong for that as well. From what I can remember of it. Certainly, in the beginning, the battles were actually fairly simple. There wasn't much to them. There weren't a huge amount of options, especially with one character that could actually do much but simply attack every time. I guess that did get a bit boring after a while, but then slowly and gradually things started to get into place. So what I really saw was a fairly cohesive battle system, really good dialogue as well. The story overall, honestly, I think to me it was a bit typical, but I'm one of those guys that's of the opinion that you can do a fairly typical story. You can do it very well, and for me, it'll still be something worth playing. So, I mean, I'm very. I'd like to say that I'm fairly lenient when it comes to that type of thing. The storylines in particular, and how they're, because it really, matters about how they're executed. I'd say overall. By the way, I guess this is the point of the Let's Play where I do mention if you have any comments or critique. There are multiple ways you can reach me now, and I have a great one to announce actually. For those of you who aren't on RPGmaker.net, or who are members of it but haven't been on it recently. Okay, so first of all, there's a traditional. Okay, you can find me in the IRC, Internet Relay Chat. I am there as Yellow Magic, usually Yellow_Magic or something. If you want the channel details, you need to go to irc.dynastynet.net. Still don't have no Battle.net. You can do irc.dynastynet.net. Hashtag RPGmaker.net is the channel. You can also find me on the RPGmaker.net forums, where I am simply Yellow Magic with a space. In addition, you can find me on my Twitter handle, because I use Twitter quite a lot. My Twitter handle is simply Yellow Magic, with no spaces. The yellow does not have a W, because that was taken, so I had to go with Yellow Magic without a W, no spaces. And finally, my new favourite mode of communication, Slack. Does the word Slack mean anything to you? No, I don't mean slacking off. I mean the thing that is used in, software development teams and stuff like that, any sort of technical teams, that has actually proven to be a great community builder. It's something that I introduced to the RPGmaker.net kind of mainstream, and we do actually have an RPGmaker.net Slack group, which I am now an owner of. So I'm going to put details in the chat room on how to join, because you really want to join if you want to get involved with the community. Currently we have like 60-70 members. A lot of them are actually quite active. I'd estimate like 30 or so are actually fairly active these days. So it is a great place to just come in and talk about a variety of things, from like, game development to RPG Maker help if you need help. Just talk about random things as well, like, I don't know, music. There's a random channel where you just post random stuff if you like. It's called Whelp. And there's a whole bunch of things, and if you have any requests for channels, I mean, either myself or any of the admins can probably create one. It is definitely a great place to check out, and definitely if you want to come and approach me there and send me a private message related to the Let's Play or anything in particular, really, just feel free to go on the Slack group and give me a shout. I am going to post details for that, along with everything else I just mentioned as well. So yeah, definitely keep an eye on the Slack group now, because I do think it's going to get better as things go on, in my opinion. Oh, we have 25 now. Good. Always good. Now we can stop waffling about, stop ranting about Slack, and get on with the rest of the game. I mean, there wasn't really much to that fetch quest. I guess it's like I said before, its basic aim was to introduce me to the battle system, which doesn't have a huge amount of complexity. I think a 5-year-old could understand what I just went through. So, it's all good. Okay, I got your battle nuts. How many more do you need? I thought you said 25. I think what would help at this point is, if I had a kind of reminder in the form of like a quest log or something like that, because I was fairly sure I had to get 25 battle nuts. And I am not 100% sure why the story hasn't progressed. Did I have to go to somewhere in particular, I wonder? I have to go back and double check, really, or kind of go offline and have another look, really. But let's see if we can figure it out within the next like 2 minutes or so. Did I have to give it to this guy? No. I had to go back to like a store type thing, didn't I? It was where I was kind of handing stuff over to... No, it's definitely not here. I see there's a treasure chest there. I'm probably going to try and get at it sometime. Nope, I was just there. Yeah. To do something with this guy? No, it doesn't. I don't know if you read that. There you go. True, true. You shut up about your wife, man. People get so obsessed with that kind of thing. Even in modern day. It's quite interesting, really. Where do I go now? Nah, that was the same store, wasn't it? Trying to remember how many battle nuts I needed. Maybe I read that wrong, maybe it's like 30. I think I'll go into 1 or 2 more battles, because I don't want to bore you, the watcher of this Let's Play, too much, if you are not Corey. So yeah. Shall I get this done quick? Bash the Z button on my Mac. Yes, I am indeed playing on my MacBook Pro. Welcome to boot camp. I'm actually going to be installing Windows 10 soon, actually. It'll be quite interesting to see how RPG Maker VX Ace performs with Windows 10. I mean, I don't think I've heard anything with regards to like compatibility issues or anything, so it should be good to go. I just saw that I did 180 damage without any sort of attack increase, which is quite interesting, I guess. Because I'm sure against that other enemy that wasn't a spider, I don't really know what it's called. Green scale. I'm pretty sure that let's have a test, and I'll explain what I mean. Oh, that's one. Oh, balls. That is not the one. Oh, no, that is the one. What am I saying, man? Oh, okay. That did quite a bit of damage. Oh, it's because I used it twice, didn't I? I think I used it twice. I guess it made sense, so that's a useful thing to know, I think, that Invigorate stacks, which could be pretty useful when it comes to like boss battles and the like. Right, I think we're on 28 now. I will do 2 more, and then I'll go back and talk to my pitiful excuse for a dad. And if things don't pan out, then I'm just going to end the video here and come back to it on a later date. Man, this spider could take a hit. Must be a giant spider as well, look at it, the size compared to Othello, it's like... Damn. Okay. We are done here, I hope. I think. Yes, we are done. Ah, son of a bitch. How did she steal my nuts from there? That was pretty far away. That was like 3 tiles away. That is some expert 3v skills, man. I could... If I could use those, I wouldn't have to work a 9-to-5 job, you know what I mean? Pattern. No, I'm just laughing because that's the last name of one of my co-workers. Really funny guy. Shout out to Mr. Patton if you're watching this Let's Play for some reason. Hey, that was actually a nice Nice comeback. He owns a battle nut. Are you hitting on me? Hey. I like this character. I don't like how she made that typo though. That was kind of random. I mean, this random thief just stole my nuts. Went down into this underground cave and said, "Okay, come and explore with me, and then you'll get back your nuts." I'm pretty sure Othello could just beat the shit out of her and take back the nuts, right? I mean, I'm not overthinking this, am I? But anyway, plot device. And boulders that are too heavy to move. That's sexist. Hey, that's a Final Fantasy IV character. And I think so is that. Hey! Or Final Fantasy V, actually. Yeah, that's 5. And a 30% chance of stealing, which I'm not a fan of. Because that's not very accurate at all, to be honest. I'm sorry, but Corey, if you're watching this, I really do think you need to change that 30% to like, honestly, 70%. Or something that I've done in one of my previous projects, actually, is, I'm not going to name drop my project, although I'm really tempted to, just to get more downloads, but no. One of the things I did in one of my projects was to give steal a 100% success rate, and that was pretty handy because when you really thought about it, in my game I made it so that you really had to kind of utilize every single turn you had, right? So even when you did the steal, there was a bit of a kind of an opportunity cost there, if you will, because yeah, you do steal, you do get an item after that, but at the same time you do use up a turn which could be spent doing something like, I don't know, buffing up your enemies or healing or even attacking the enemy as well. So that is the kind of the approach that I took on my game. I don't think it's absolutely necessary for you to go with what I did 100%, but I do think it's something to keep in mind that personally I feel that 30% is a bit too low for stealing or any attack really. You might want to go for like 70% plus. That's my expert opinion. Not really expert, but that's my opinion anyway. No. I think I'm going to be aiming for around the 40-minute mark and then calling it quits there. Just so that, I think, just so that Corey gets a decent idea of, you know, my kind of playstyle, if you like. I think typically I'm going to be going for around the same length of time when I really think about it. I remember back in the day when YouTube used to only allow videos that were 10 minutes in length, so when you wanted to do Let's Plays, you had to make sure that they were below 10 minutes each little video. That was kind of a pain. And I think that was later increased to... Ooh, items. I think that was later increased to like 20 minutes per video. Which helped, but still wasn't enough, for me anyway. When I started off doing Let's Plays, I think it was about like a couple years ago. No balls! Troll. Troll. Actual troll there. Can I? Really not? Let me try with no. Alright then. Have it your way. I can't move that boulder. That is such a tempting thing to move. Whoa. I just touched that. I didn't actually press action button or anything. FYI. That is a very strange way to get the ability to move boulders around. This boulder gives me super strength. Guess the reference. If you do, you win a prize. If you guess correctly. Oh yeah? Oh. Yes, you're right. This one cannot be solved with that item. Can I escape? I'll be very interested in what the escape rate is in this game. I don't think that was something that you'd be able to control in RPG Maker VX Ace unless you did it programmatically, i.e. using a script, or editing one of the scripts that is already kind of there. I don't know. Anyway, looks like I can finally move this border, which is good. Payload! I don't really know what those are used for yet, but maybe I sell them? I don't know. I do about bets on that stuff. I don't know if I can even be bothered with steel, to be honest. I'll probably try at least like once. Although I'm probably going to have to use it 3 times. Yeah, what can you do? Oh, then how can you attack with it? More borders. This is one of those. So if I move this one... No. See how I was about to, like, completely overthink that one. I wonder if that was intentional, to get the player to kind of just overthink it. I do believe I got a recipe book. Sick, okay. Do I need to read these? Not really. I mean, what's this? You're again, dude. Random encounter. Random encounters are difficult when it comes to Let's Playing, I have to say, because I don't have any control over the frequency of my battles, and as a result... Sorry, I was just scratching my leg there. When it comes to, you know, recording the video, you have to really make the decision about when are you going to stop recording at a certain point, and when you're just going to kind of get on with things, because I don't want to bore the player too much. Holy shit. Look at that. She's not only is she a thief, she's a samurai as well. You know, the samurai class, like in Final Fantasy V, could throw in jail for some reason. Is there like a historical thing to that? I mean, I don't really know, but... Anyway, what was I saying? Completely lost my train of thought. No matter. Hey, I saw bets on it. I got pretty lucky there. That had a 30% chance. I can make a really bad reference there, but I'm not going to do it until maybe later on in this LP. And I'm probably going to do it. And whoever knows where the reference is from is probably going to attack me physically. But no, that'll be my Easter egg. Oh, dude, don't steal some gold. You know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of like Shin Megami Tensei games, in particular like Nocturne or Digital Devil Saga, where where characters can get confused or something, and then when they get confused, they drop the money. So that in the later stages of the game, they can drop like a stupid amount of money. We're talking like tens of thousands. And it's actually pretty funny if you see like one of those screenshots. It's like blah 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 dropped 100,000 of the currency. Oh. Anyway. You know what? I think I'm gonna call it a day now, or at least a day in terms of Let's Playing, because I do have other things I have to do. If I could just summarize my impressions of the game, I don't really have a huge amount in terms of things to say. I mean, like I said before, I really like the face sets. I think they're absolutely superb, and if they're open source, I definitely kind of want to use them in some sort of Japanese feudal project of my own, you know? So that's a huge plus point there. The dungeons, the mapping is pretty decent so far, I guess. The dungeon seems fairly standard, really. It was kind of weird to kind of get a necklace that can move borders, but it's neither here nor there when I think about it. What else can I say? Yeah, I mean, the dialogue's been really interesting so far, hasn't it? When you open up with that one dad who's like, "Oh, you useless bitch." Should have been a son. It's like, okay, this could be that type of game. So you can really tell it's kind of going for that, I guess, what probably was kind of the case in like Japanese feudal times where women weren't really that respected as compared to men, and parents really wanted their children to be men as opposed to, well, baby girls as, no, baby boys as opposed to baby girls. So yeah, I guess I could see where Cora was kind of going from with that kind of dialogue, but at the same time I do feel that maybe it's just a notch too high up. I mean, it really hammers the point home and then some, right? So I mean, I don't want to address this elephant in the room, but someone's got to address the elephant in the room. There might be people who are kind of offended by this kind of dialogue. I just have to come out and say, yeah, personally, I'm not, because let's face it, right? I'm not a woman. I'm not sure if it's actually possible for me to be offended by this type of thing. But anyway, yeah, I guess if I were a woman playing this game, then there's always that kind of risk. And maybe I'd be reminded of certain things that I don't want to be reminded of, if you know what I mean. So it's pretty heavy, and I know it's a very big topic currently, and definitely in the gaming industry as well. There's this whole thing about where do you draw the line when it comes to dialogue in games and storylines in games when it comes to dealing with gender issues. It's such a massive thing right now, and it's very hard to get the balance right. So it would be very, very interesting to see going forward how this game deals with these kind of sensitive issues in terms of drawing the line between what it can go away with, what it can get away with in terms of like storytelling. So yeah, I'm looking forward to see where that goes. It's definitely on the strongest side now, but I mean, we'll see in the future. But every cloud has a silver lining, right? So I'm assuming like things are going to get better for Othello. You know, things will look up once you kind of becomes really good in terms of like fighting. So yeah, I'd like to see things improve for Othello, because she definitely has a shit life right now, right? Heavy stuff, man. Anyway, thanks for watching another one of my Let's Play videos. Again, if you have any comments or critique, you know where to find me. Until then, this is Yellow Magic signing off. See you guys.